When working in Illustrator, you can transform shapes, paths, and other artwork you create by rotating, moving, scaling, and a whole lot more. Let's take a look at some of the ways you can apply transformations to artwork in this project to complete it. With the latest version of Illustrator CC open this practice file from the downloadable practice files for this tutorial to follow along. So you can see all of the content in this file. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. Select the Selection tool in the Tools panel on the left, then click to select this circle here. To zoom into the artwork, choose View, Zoom in a few times. With the shape selected, notice the box around it with these handles. This is called a bounding box. You can transform artwork in different ways by dragging these handles. Drag a handle on the corner of the box, and as you drag, make sure it stays a circle. The crosshairs in the center tell you it's a circle. Make sure it's about this big and still a circle, and then release the mouse button. Drag it onto the center of the flower shapes to the right. You can transform shapes visually by dragging like you just did, but you can also transform by entering specific values in the Properties panel. In the Properties panel on the right, you can change options like width, height, rotation, and a whole lot more by choosing or typing in values. Specifying values can be a way to be exacting when it comes to transformations, or even simply see what the dimensions are, or what transformations are already applied to selected artwork. With the circle still selected, click this option to constrain the width and height. That way, if you change one of the values, the other changes proportionally. Drag across the width value to select it, and type 0.2. Then click in the height field to see the change happen. Now you'll rotate a shape, so click in the yellow flower shape over here to select it. This shape needs to be rotated so it looks good when you add it to the other flower shapes on the right. Move the pointer just off of any corner and you'll see these rotate arrows. Click and drag to rotate it when you see them. As you rotate, you'll see a gray measurement label with the rotation angle. Keep dragging, and as you drag, press the Shift key to constrain the rotation to 45 degrees. When it looks like this, release the mouse button, and then the key. Drag the flower onto the shapes to the right, roughly in the center. It appears behind the other shapes because it was created before the other flower shapes that are above it. All objects in Illustrator are stacked one on another. Now this shape would look better if it was a little bit larger. So you'll resize this artwork from its center because it's already in the correct position. Start dragging one of the corners of the box, and as you drag, press Shift and Option on Mac or Shift and Alt on Windows and drag to make it bigger. Release the mouse button and then the keys when it's about this size. The Option or Alt key resizes artwork from the center, and the Shift key constrains the proportions. In other words, you won't distort it. Choose View, Fit Artboard and Window so you can see everything again. Drag across all of these flower shapes to select them, and then drag the entire flower into position here. Click to select this orange dome shape you see up here. Now this shape was created on its side and it needs to be rotated. There are a series of transform tools in the Tools panel for transforming with more options. For instance, select the Rotate tool in the Tools panel on the left. Notice the crosshair in the center of the selected shape. This is called the reference point, and it tells you it will rotate around the center of the shape currently. This shape needs to be rotated around the point down here. That way you won't have to move it when you're done rotating. Click and release in the corner to set the reference point, or where it will rotate around. Then, move the pointer away and drag anywhere out here to rotate the shape. As you drag, press the Shift key to constrain the movement. When it's in place, release the mouse button and then the key. To see the final artwork, choose Select, Deselect. There really are a lot of options for transforming artwork, and it's something you'll do a lot of. So now that you know how to transform artwork, you can do things like resize logos, rotate images, and so much more. Save a copy of this file by choosing File, Save As. Make sure you give it a different name so it won't overwrite the original practice file.